How has it felt to potentially be a key piece of this wide receiver room?
It's pretty good, just getting back out on the field with the guys and the coaches, and just getting back into the flow of things is a good feeling this fall.
It seems like this wide receiver room has some versatility. I mean, it seems like last year we kind of knew where Pat and Zakar, but everyone kind of move around. How do you feel that day to day, and what can that do for your offense?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, seeing how different guys bring different skill sets to the team. Obviously, we got a young room, and I think a lot of guys can contribute in a lot of different ways. So it's kind of cool just to see how that works out, how each guy's finding their kind of role. And I think Coach Lane's going to be able to do a lot of different things.
90 yards receiving in the bowl game is a pretty big deal. Is it a confidence builder for you coming into the next season?
Yeah, I would say that's a big confidence builder. And that's one thing that, I've tried to tell some of the younger guys in the room to find is confidence. It can be up and down at times. So just trying to find your groove and, be consistent and be the same guy every day and just building that confidence day by day until you can, do something great has really been a big thing for me, and I've tried to pass that on to the younger guys.
How much did making plays on special teams feed into that confidence? Even the weeks where you maybe didn't have a reception or didn't have many targets, you still felt like you impacted the game in some way?
Yeah, definitely. There were definitely games last year where I felt like, my role was more on special teams than anything else. So that's a huge confidence builder, just being able to get the ball in my hands. And even if it wasn't in my hands, just, being able to contribute in any kind of way on the team is good for confidence. So I think that's a huge thing for young guys too, is, special teams. Coach B always talks about being like a core 4 player and just finding a way to contribute to the team. And I think once you kind of, can establish yourself on special teams, that might build a bigger role for you on offense or defense.
We heard you're getting some reps at kickoff return. Is that a position you want?
I'll do whatever I can to impact, the game. But yeah, kick returning would be cool, yeah.
It's broadly, what are the differences for you as a punt returner and kick returner? Is there anything you have to do differently from one or the other?
I would say there's a little bit more to do with nerves on punt returning, just because, just because it's punt returning. But then kick returning, it's cool, it's fun. I would say you just got to be a fast guy back there, and we got a bunch of young guys who are, kind of working around kick returning right now, and there's a lot of guys who could probably do that role pretty well for us.
We've seen Aiden catch I don't know if it was punch or kicks, but Aiden back there a little bit. Is that something you could see him doing? And do you, I think you guys are friends, do you offer advice or he doesn't need it?
Yeah, I think he kick returned maybe 2 years ago. And he's an explosive guy, quick, fast, smart. So if he's back there kick returning, I have full confidence in him to be able to break one at any time.
Hank, do you find that the veterans kind of take it as a point of pride to get on special teams and then stay on special teams unit? I see like Tanner is on almost every special teams unit. Kind of like, does that make this team a little bit unique and different?
Yeah, I would say a lot of veteran guys probably started off on special teams. Like Tanner you mentioned. I know a bunch of linemen started off on field goal, and I started kick returning and punt returning. So I think a bunch of guys, found their way playing as a special teams player, and as the years have gone by, they've just gotten better and better at doing that. And I think that just ultimately makes our team so much better, is that we're not only productive on offense and defense, but we have starters, contributing on special teams too.
What's the ride been like for you? Just high school quarterback, now veteran wide receiver. Big change for you, obviously. But do you feel like you have that voice now as a veteran in the wide receiver room, where you can be a leader in the group?
Yeah, I would say I feel like the old head in our room. A bunch of young guys who are still trying to figure out the offense. Just learning the ins and outs of Coach Lenny and like what he likes and what he wants to do. And just kind of them trying to find a connection with Luke or the other quarterbacks that they're playing with. So I would say, yeah, just being a veteran, trying to help those guys, guide them, and be there as a resource for them if they have any questions, if they have any doubts, if I can give them any knowledge or insights or confidence, anything I can do for them.
Some of the other guys have talked about that, the team, like sports psychologists, has kind of helped them build up like their confidence as well, and just kind of talking through some things that they're seeing in game situations or as they've matured over the years. Is that something that you've utilized at all?
A little bit, yeah. In your college career, there's a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, just to talk things out with. And I think the school here does a great job of providing resources for our student athletes, you know, whether it's physical resources, mental health resources, anything. We really have like access to everything we need here to be successful. And I think a lot of young guys, or a lot of old guys too, you know, have utilized those resources, and it's helped them play better.
Does Braden ever go up to you and ask for tips? You know, the Mount Zion product.
Yeah, I talk to Braden a lot. His locker's like right next to mine, so he's young and he's figuring things out, and it's fun because I kind of see myself in him a little bit, just from being a young guy in a big college program. So him trying to find his role and everything like that it's cool to see.
Is he a quiet kid that like follows orders, or is he like super confident? Like, what's Braden like?
He can be quiet at times, but then there's other times where he's got bursts of energy and will say whatever. So it's kind of funny.
How do you and some of the other experienced guys and the coaching staff kind of enforce the basics to some of the younger guys, stressing the importance of the fundamentals?
I think it's just through everyday actions. Coach B preaches tough, smart, dependable, and we see that every day. We hear that every day, and I think that the young guys see how the older guys. We don't even have to really preach it to them. They kind of just see how we act and how we carry ourselves because of the guys that Coach Reed has recruited and the culture that he's built here. So they kind of just follow the example of the older guys, and a lot of them fit in pretty well.
Does that make you feel as though, like, when these newer guys are coming in, that you're getting quality players based off of the strategies that he's using to recruit these guys?
Yeah, I would say he recruits a specific type of person, and it's pretty much just a good person, somebody who's going to do the right thing and put the team first. So a lot of guys don't have trouble fitting into our culture.
Do the local ties on this team excite you? I mean, you talked about Braden, Aiden, Caden, like there's a lot of Central Illinois guys.
Yeah, there is a lot of Central Illinois guys, and it's cool to see just that part of the state is represented because you got Chicago up there, you got kids from other states coming in here. We got a lot of kids from Florida, so kind of seeing that home representation is a good feeling for us.
How do you describe the competition in the room this year?
The what?
The competition in the wide receiver room.
I would say it's competition. It's trying to get better every day. We got a lot of good playmakers, like I said, a lot of guys who have different abilities and who can do different things. So every day, just trying to go out there and push each other to be better, and just find a role in the team.
How have you seen Hudson grow since, I know, a little limited in the spring, a new guy in the spring? How have you seen him grow through the summer and just 3 practices, I know?
I would say he's playing with a lot more confidence. I've been up there with him in the film room, pre-practice, just while we're here in camp with nothing better to do. And he's up there writing the plays down, trying to figure out what's going on. So I feel like that for him has been a big step. He's gotten better, just knowing the plays and knowing like what he's supposed to do, his assignment. And I think that helps him play faster out there. So that's been a thing for him, I think.
What excites you the most about some of the newer things that are being installed this year?